think I lost it. I can't find it.
No way.
I don't know where it's at. I can't see, dude.
You
Hang on,
just nuked it.
it's here. Nope, there it is. All right. Would it be? It wouldn't be us. Dude, I thought I had all this laid out like on my computer to okay, I'll be able to set this up real quick, blah blah blah, I'll pin it. I'm having the same problems I always have. Right. Trying
Always.
to hang on, let me pin this thing here. All right, there's Twitter. And it hasn't been like everything's like delayed on Facebook. Like for
Oh,
everything that comes up, the reels that I've been putting up the last couple of days for the show, the show right now is not showing up on here. Where is it? Here we go. Is anybody on Facebook? Is anybody watching on Facebook? Anybody want to chime in? We have
they gave
one.
up on us,
We have
dude.
one viewer right now. There it is.
They gave up on us.
I guess, dude. All right, there we go.
Rightfully so. Man, I was
Oh,
looking at that
dude,
intro video, dude. I miss when I had no gray in my beard. That
that's
was
a
the
lot of
COVID year
gray,
when I was
dude.
rocking the beard underneath the mask when they're making us wear it at work, just not caring.
Uh huh.
Back when I couldn't have a beard.
Yeah, and now you can't. Did you know all those guys are shaving again?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Hang on, I'm still going through all this stuff. It's been a while, dude. Like it's been a minute since we've done this thing.
But yeah, well, normally we have what a couple off-season shows in between the end of season and then the beginning of season, and obviously we didn't have those this year, so I
Yeah.
can't tell you when. I think the last time we turned this on was probably the week of state or the week prior to state.
I think we actually closed the season out last year, right?
Yeah, no, we did. We did because we talked about the my experience at the state games. We did talk about it. So that's right before Christmas,
Yeah, it's pretty.
which
I don't know. It's
doesn't seem
wild.
like that long ago.
No. Well, welcome back, guys, to South Texas Football Unlimited, the Coastal Bend's original high school football podcast webcast. Um, it's the Swain song for the show, right? We announced what last month,
Yeah, probably
early
about
this
a month.
month, early this month that we're putting the show on hiatus for a while, right? Um, Not sure of what the plan is yet for the show, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We got a lot to catch up on, right? Look at
Yeah.
Justin. Justin's lost 200 pounds. He's 87 pounds wet right now.
Yeah. I weighed 163 the other day.
Dude, that's less than me. I'm at 175 and I'm 5'3".
Yeah, I really don't like it. I feel, lack of a better words, I feel like a bitch. Never been this small since I haven't been this small since fourth grade.
I was
I
gonna
think.
say since like third grade.
I feel it's weird. I larges are huge on me now. It's just a different vibe, dude. And people, honestly, dude, people do not recognize me, so that is a little alarming.
Dude, I
But
got so many text messages. Hey, is Justin sick? Hey, what's wrong with Justin? Is he all right? Like, there was a lady that works with my wife, and she says, I saw Justin Vieira the other day. Is he sick? I don't even think this lady's met you before.
probably not. Probably not. Yeah, definitely weird. I'd like to be back up to like 180. That would be cool.
That's a nice weight, 180. I mean, at your height, your weight, that look pretty. You'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'll tell you what, dude. Whoever makes the BMI charts is smoking crack, man. Because I think for the first time in my life, I'm not obese on a BMI chart, and I'm skin and bones. So whoever made the BMI chart was smoking crack back in the day.
Oh man. So other than that, how have you been, buddy? So Justin and I worked together again. I think we've been working together a year again, right? A little over a year.
Uh, Started working together again last March, so probably almost a
Yeah,
year and a half
better
again
part of,
together.
and I see him less now than I did when we were not working together.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much. That's changing though, pal. Once you're done, you're up there. You're stuck with me.
Oh, I know, dude. These last 3 days, 4 days. What is it today? Wednesday. 5 days have been something else, dude. Um,
How's that going?
it's just, oh, dude. It's just I remembered why I hated it so much. I knew I hated it, right?
Yeah.
But I realize why I hated it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, dude, and it's not. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say anything yet because it's still early in the game, but whatever.
Well,
Um,
I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't get the invite to do the Whataburger order and drive-through for a chicken sandwich at the very last day, then you were not best friends with him. Me and him, I think, are the only two. Ever since then, I think the last two were. I don't think they got the invite on those.
Oh, I have not got an invite. I got free lunch today because there was a luncheon today. I don't know what to tell you, babe, that you can't. I had it set up for you. Did you change the channel because it was there? You may have to refresh it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
So you're on
Let me
Mac
see.
now or what?
Is it on YouTube? Let me. I hadn't even checked the YouTube page. Let me go look at the YouTube page. See if that's on
Oh,
there.
you just co-sign that check, pal.
It should be. Let me see. South Texas. Mm, Wow. Okay, here we go. Um, Dude. Okay. Where's the channel? Oh, it says we're live. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there, babe. You have to search it, I guess, but it's there. I think you're watching it. It says you're watching it. Oh no, never mind. That's the comment. My bad. Anyways, um, it's been a pretty interesting couple weeks. Actually, month. This is usually the time. I think we tried to cancel the show before, right? Didn't we a
Yeah.
couple years ago?
Yeah, we
And
did.
I think at this time of the year, maybe a little bit before June, July rolled around, we're like, you know what? Let's go. Let's give it one more round. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt that like that a little bit, but
Yeah.
I've been so out of touch with everything that's going on, just because of work. And my son joined the service, right? For those of you guys that don't know, Justin knows. He's at tech school right now, so that's kind of taking up a lot of my time as well as work. Um, I've had I think 2 days off in the last month.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty busy out there, and that's the one of the biggest reasons why we decided to hang up the show. Justin and I work on the same shift; he works just as much as I do. Then you throw in travel baseball with that, and it's a lot, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's honestly I think the most overlooked part is maybe for you right now, physically wise is probably pretty tiring, but dude, mentally, what I'm doing right now, I get kind of tired. Like, tell like Kinsey all the time, I was like, I'm not physically tired, but I'm just mentally tired. I'm like mentally drained, with our roles right now, with what we're doing, and it's obviously we kind of expected it to be this way. Not complaining about that, but you tack on adding the show into the mix, and yeah, I have my son's baseball. Then I have my other boy who I got to devote time to him as well and his things he likes to do. So it's like when everyone asked me, I said, the hardest part for me was I didn't want to quit on the show or really give up like the grip we had on it because what this would be year 8 for us.
Yeah, you're eight.
But at the same time, like last year, I felt really, and I told you this too when we were talking about it. I just felt like I wasn't 100% in. And to me, if you can't be 100% in on something, then what's the point of even doing it? And obviously, I still keep up with what's going on, and probably a little more than most. But uh, it's really hard. I don't think people realize how much time you have to devote to this thing until you're like right in the middle of the season. Week 6 or 8, week 6 through 10 is really the grind part of it. Because the first 4 weeks, it's like it's back, football season's on. You're trying to figure out who's who. Then around week 6 to 10, you kind of already know who's who, and depending on what the area looks like, the show can be rather good, or it could just be almost seem like we've caught this flack before. Oh, we're only talking about certain teams. Well, you get what you work you work with what you have right in the area, and some teams of late have always been kind of consistently at the top, and It's just how it is. Now this year, to be honest with you, is a pretty wide open year, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
probably one of
but
the most wide open it's been since we've been doing this.
no, definitely. But again, like it's extremely hard to go 100% in on multiple things. And then, of course, your situation with the traveling. You're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
To go to
we're leaving
Wichita?
tomorrow. So yeah, so we're hitting the road to go see the Airman Basic tomorrow up in Wichita Falls for the long weekend. So yeah, we're hitting the road tomorrow, and that's the start of high school football season, right? I think Miller and Vets
Vets
play
kickoff.
tomorrow,
Portland and Cal
and
Allen.
are they playing tomorrow? I wasn't sure if it was tomorrow or
No, they play
Friday.
Friday.
So
They play
yeah,
Friday.
so the season's starting already, and I'm not going to be at a game. I mean, you're going to be there because what, you think you're the longest season ticket holder now, the longest living season ticket holder right now?
Yeah, I'd like to see. I would love to see who's got tickets longer than I do at the Portland home games. And of course, obviously, I didn't have them from day one. My parents had them. I think when we moved here in '98 was our first year to get the season tickets, right? So kept those up until 2013, same seats, and then I took them over, and then hang on, my wife's home with the dog, of course. So I haven't gotten set up the new house yet for a show, anyways, right? So that was going to be a big, hitch in the show,
Yeah,
but yeah. So I had the season tickets. I think this is what year 27, year 28 of having season tickets. So yeah, I'd like to see who's had them longer than me, honestly. I'm sure there's some people out there, but like I was telling you, I was like, most of the people that were there when I was having them, they're either quit going to games or uh, they're not here anymore. So I'd like to get any GP fans on there who's got longer than 27, 28 years of season tickets. I'd like to see it.
yeah. There's got to be some in there somewhere. We'll put a flag out
You
somewhere
got to have a
if
parking space by now.
if we say.
I'm really close to the stadium, by the way, at the new house, and we talked about getting a golf cart, and honestly, I never brought it up, but in my head, I was thinking a white golf cart with the red logo, cats on the side, and just driving that to games with blue LEDs.
Buddy Garrity,
Yeah.
kind of that thing.
Yep. For sure.
Here, man, I haven't. I've had. I think I'm pretty much going to give my season tickets away right now. I think because we're not going to be at any games here in town.
Yeah.
I think the only game that we've got on the slate right now for us to actually go to is the Miller DeSoto game,
Yes.
right?
Which is week what? 4?
Week it was week 3 last year, right here. Let me
Week
look.
3.
I think.
We are off. I know that. So you're probably right because we're working week 2 and then we'd be off week 3.
Yeah. Let me see.
We're actually working nights week 2. So yeah, we would. It's got to be week 3. I saw Becca's comment. No more intern. Yeah, that's crazy, right? So what? Year 1 of the show, we had the intern.
Yeah, dude. So the
Right.
show, if man, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. In the
With
in
the
the seven
Scotty
years,
table.
8 years that we did this, all the changes that we had that went on with the show, right? So we started with 4, right? If you guys are with us from day one, we had 4 of us that were doing this show, and we did it guerrilla style right after work, showing up at the serial killer's house, and
Don't
and then we
forget.
had Pat, who was going to be our gimmick, who could have gotten really big. I think I'm still with that. I think he would have gotten really big if trying the concession stand food out. And now that how reels have taken off lately and
Oh,
TikTok, because TikTok really wasn't as big when we first started this thing,
I didn't
he
think
would
it
have.
existed, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
he definitely would have taken
Back
off.
when Twitter was Twitter.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I messed with Tim, right, because Martinez from work, because he keeps encouraging us to keep the show alive, right? He only got 1 year of being our friend and the show being there, which is unfortunate. But I brought it up there today because they had pizza on Sunday, and I said, "Why don't you go in there and get you a cold slice of pizza, dude, STFU style, Monday's cold pizza."
Monday
And he was
morning
like, "What
cold
are you talking
pizza.
about?" I said, "Only real fans would know that, right?" I was like, "We used to have a segment called I think Monday was the Monday morning cold pizza show or something like that." And yeah, that was back in the garage days, and then eventually we upgraded the serial killer's house. That was an upgrade, by the way, for people.
Yeah,
That was an
definitely
upgrade.
was. I mean, we had to probably there was probably dead bodies there somewhere.
Yeah, we were doing the shows, and we did a show in my garage, your garage, multiple times in the heat in
Yeah,
August on your
yep,
table with Coach Dodge that first year, or was that year
yeah.
2? That was year 2.
Was that? Did we do
Year
that
two, I
here?
think, was the first year we had Coach Dodge on at your house. Yeah, we did it on your table there.
Dude, we've had some pretty big guests on this. We've had a Division One college football coach.
Super Bowl
We
head coach or assistant
we've
head coach.
we've had an NFL head football coach, Super Bowl winning now,
Yeah.
coach on the show. Um, we've had Todd Dodge.
Yep.
We've had the UIL athletic director on the show.
Yep.
We've had numerous coaches from the area, right? Um,
Miss Wolf, she was what? She was leading the charge on how they are doing the hiring committee for. It was Wolf, right? That was it.
Nealon. It was Coach Nealon's
Neely,
sister.
Neely's sister. Yep.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of coaches grow up. By the way,
yeah.
a lot of guys that were assistants that we thought had potential to be head coaches at one point, and
We've had
a
a
lot of them
reporter
there.
from the caller time zone. We've had multiple. Lynn
Yeah.
broke a chair.
Lynn broke a chair at the serial killer's house, and
and,
Lynn's still alive.
and
So
he made it out alive. Yeah. Oh man.
back when Annie was getting mad at Blake at games, remember that?
Yeah, yeah, Annie. Man, that was the crew. Dubroff.
Dubroff.
Remember, Dubroff was up doing his thing, and I think he's still in Iowa now, covering Iowa State.
Yep. God. Yeah, I tell a lot of people, I was like, a lot of people don't know Blake like we know Blake.
Yeah,
He was really instrumental to the show the last couple of years, especially last year. But I'm telling you, I was like, this dude popped up at me on me at a Miller game, and it might have been a playoff game. And he had a pen and a pad, and he was writing down basically the stats of the game. And at the time, he was trying to get into kind of like his own journalism type thing, sports writing with the
yeah.
show. And he introduced himself, said he watched the show, and then you were like, "Hey, who's that? Who's that dude that keeps following you around?" I'm like, "I don't know. He's just a random fan of the show, dude." So then we got him a hat. I remember meeting him at the mall and giving him a hat. And the next year he shows up and he's got this. It's a nice camera, but nothing like what he's got now.
Oh
And I
man.
remember he was taking photos on the sidelines. We'd see him at all the Miller stuff because at the time Miller was, I think, junior year of Andrew Body, and they were really on the rise at the time. And then we just slowly see him progress. Now he's shooting for Dave Campbell's. He does all kinds of stuff. He'll do the commercials. He does all the sports stuff in the area. Like did our show last year, produced our show last year for us when we were doing live shows.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
yeah,
that was a big step we took last year with Brian
huge.
over at Al Willerford, dude. I mean, like, if we had kept this thing going, I mean, the things we could have did with that aspect of the show, we tried taking it on the road at Cuero. Remember, crappy internet
I still
took us
think that was
down.
a good. I still think that was a good show, though.
Oh, definitely, but you couldn't hear it because it froze. But I mean, we had all the pieces where we could have made this thing mobile. Could have done a game of the week. Like, remember back in the day, they had the DQ big game of the week, and that
Yes.
crew from Fox would come down and set up at your local Dairy Queen, and the band would come out and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Eventually, that was what a goal we had for the show.
Yeah.
But just time.
Yeah. Time. Yeah. Time sucks for sure because obviously the easiest way I missed or I remember the length of the show was obviously that was Ace's first year being born, or he had been born that last November, so he was turning 1 that year. So he's going on 8 in March. So 8 years into this thing, and now he's on the sideline. Which I'm still gonna. By the way, I'm still gonna when I have free time. Me and Ace will be on sideline somewhere. We got enough connection with the coaches. We're gonna even the live show might be. I'm gonna pop up somewhere. Uh, Even though GP right now is being hard headed.
Really?
A little bit. They said they're
Oh,
cutting down on passes this year. So I haven't talked to any of. I haven't talked to. I just reached out to the secretary the other day, and she just told me they were cutting down passes, which is fine. I have season tickets, but Kinsey knows one of the gate workers, and he told her the other day, he's like, he can. I remember to let your husband on this year. And I told her, it's like, well, they didn't approve me for a pass. I don't want to be a distraction.
yeah.
So I don't know. Ace is going to want to go on the field, so we'll have to see if we can find a way. But yeah, a lot of changes with the show. I think the live shows had a lot of potential, but see, then again, that's where I don't think that people realize the time. That's where the time goes because those took God when we did the live shows at Brian. That was a 4 or 5 hour ordeal.
Yeah, yeah. Just to set up and everything and get everything there. We'd roll over there right after work. Blake would get there a couple hours before us just to run wires and everything. And then
Yeah.
the Cuero one, I mean, we got there at noon, didn't we? For like a
Yes.
6 o'clock show.
Got home run like I think one maybe,
Yeah.
which was a fun road trip. Blake took us over there. That was a fun road trip.
Yeah, dude, we got to see we got to see your Cardinals on their
Yep.
road to state. Their opening game to state. We saw Grayson Rigdon, who was
Grayson.
as advertised coming from 6-man football to 11-man football.
Yep. Adam
And now,
Schobel,
yeah.
potential TCU starter next year. Man, that's not to mention. Think about all the good athletes we saw over the years. You got to see God, Jonathan Brooks, right? Didn't you get a live look at Jonathan Brooks with Hallisville?
No, I did not see how, but I saw the Brooks brothers
You saw the Brooks brothers.
there in
That's when
Victoria
you
when they
met
played
Sark.
Inferior. That's when I met Sark. I
Yep.
forgot. How can I forget that? Yeah, I met Sark, shook his hand, and I even did the Homer thing or the geek thing and gave him a sticker.
Blake Gideon not wanting to be in the photo.
Yeah, Blake Gideon wanted no piece of me. I hope he left. Hope he went somewhere else. Said, yeah, dude, you cost us a national championship.
Dude, then we met Coach McGuire, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, dude, Brennan Marion at
Brennan
that same
Marion.
game.
Yep, Brennan was there. God, who's the dude for is it Rivals or is it 247? He's a big timer.
The Aggie guy, right?
Well, I think he's part of the recruiting crew, but he's is it Brian Peroni?
Yes, yes.
Brian Peroni, we met him. That was cool. I think out of all the I guess things we did, my favorite is still the Alamo Dome because of how easy of access that was for us to just cruise down through. You can leave at any moment in time, and then you had like 3 games if you wanted them, on the Saturdays for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And great atmosphere, obviously. Yeah, that was crazy. I'm trying to think of some other things AC. We saw AC blossom.
Yeah.
Remember? Now he's doing his own thing, which I'm surprised I bet you still had a lot of Miller stuff this year.
Yeah. And
Wait
dude,
for him to
and
chime
I don't
in.
know how we're forgetting, but Catherine.
Cat, yep, Cat was huge. She made our
Cat
intro that we just used.
yeah, so Kat was started out as just a photographer around here and did like graphics, game day graphics and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if you saw, but now she is at Tulsa.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so Kat went on from here and got a job with Frisco, the minor league team, the Rough Riders up there. And then from there, she went to Wichita State, caught on with the Division I program. Now she's over at Tulsa,
Yep.
there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the university there. So she's doing her thing, climbing the ladder. I'm really glad we were able to help her with stuff like that. Just the work she's done for us, she was able to put in her portfolio and send that to universities and stuff. So
Yep. You got to see what Matt go from assistant coach here at Miller all the way up to his short stint.
He's at SMU.
Short
Yeah.
stint at North Texas, and quickly
See,
jumped
that's
over
what
to SMU.
I didn't even see the announcement. I was like, dude, I thought he went to North Texas. And then
Yeah.
I start seeing the SMU stuff. I was like, man, because he wasn't even there a couple months.
Yeah, I think he got like a better offer. And originally he took, I'm pretty sure he took it's a guy I follow on Twitter. He was one of the first that went into that recruiting kind of coordinator type thing, like our buddy Marco. And it's his name's on Twitter. It's can't trust my
Oh
eyes.
yeah.
Talent evaluator. He got that job.
Yeah, North Texas,
And,
right?
yeah, and then he was there for 3 years, I think, and then
Yeah.
he got a job now with, I believe it's Texas State, if I'm correct, a little more advanced role. And then Matt filled that, and then it's like I don't even know if it's a month later. I saw on Facebook he's wearing an SMU polo, and I'm like, man, can he be doing that, being a North Texas employee? And then like a day later, he posted that he had accepted that role at SMU, which I think he's probably a really good candidate for that role, right? Just knowing him through the show and how him and David are always been kind of cutting edge when it comes to just the high school kids and having a chance of getting recruited. So I think he fits that role really well. And I told someone the other day, I was like, I see him doing that a couple of years, and then I was like, you're going to see him probably as a tight end, DB, wide receiver coach, and then the sky's the limit from there. Once you've gotten that foot in the door, it wouldn't shock me. Brennan Marion, prime example of what you can do. Yeah, Justin Owens, there you go.
Yeah.
And DJ Mann's another one. He went from head coach in Lubbock out to now he's at A&M. He's like one of the big recruiting personnel at A&M. That was a huge addition, by the way, for us Aggies. Uh, Extremely connected to the Texas high school football scene. So you're starting to see, I think, a lot of these colleges in Texas do that to try to get a little more of an edge, because like the old school days of head coaches being able to, I think, really walk into high schools and do it the old school way, or coming coming to a kind of a slow down, I guess, because of just how much stuff is out there with NIL and the transfer portal. They're having to devote time to guys that have a couple years experience, and now you're seeing these younger guys
Yeah.
are the ones that are doing a lot more of the legwork. And I think they can also kind of connect and bond better with a high school athlete versus a 40 plus 60-year-old male, and it's a little more easy to get energy off a guy like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a middleman. But dude, I mean, they have general managers now, right? At
Mm-hmm.
T1 programs, there's general managers now.
Did you see the quarterback at Texas Tech bought? I think it was a 200-acre piece of land. No, it was bigger than that. Like a massive piece of land somewhere in Texas, and
No, I didn't see that.
he uses NIL money to buy this like stupid ranch somewhere in Texas, and he's gonna use that to do like trophy hunting on. Like, yeah, he's using it to make money. Smart.
Yeah.
Which, by
Yeah.
the way, Texas Tech has come on strong this offseason. I don't think that's got enough run.
Dude, there's a lot of money poured into that program. But if you watch their college softball results, it doesn't guarantee a national title.
No, it is not.
That's for sure. I mean, money's only going to take you so far. Um, what else? What else has happened? I guess the thing that made the rounds today and it kind of hit home with you was that the officials. Did you see that rule? I didn't know it was a state law,
I guess
but
that's
yeah. So officials they don't have to give you a warning now. They can throw you out of a game, which and somebody commented on the post saying, well, I guess these thin-skinned umpires uh can use that as an excuse to throw you out right away. I'm like, this is probably the reason this was put into place because of folks like you,
Oh yeah,
right? Because if you're gonna make that comment, that just means that whatever you think you're saying is not that bad when in actuality it probably is pretty bad.
yeah.
Um,
We heard it at the Refugio game. What, 4 years ago when Goliad was taking the
against
woodshed to
Goliad,
him? Yeah,
yeah.
we heard it. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much stuff you can hear on that field. I don't think people realize that, how much stuff you can actually hear down there.
Oh yeah.
And it's evident where it comes from too. That's another thing. You're in a mass of people, but you can kind of, some of the stuff we heard that yelled at Coach Evans over the last 8 years was, to me, from his own home fans, was some of the craziest stuff I'd ever heard. Just wild comments being thrown down there on that field.
That's way too much power to give random dudes off the street playing ref. Well, for that, of course, that came from Sergio. Um, there has been an incident. There's been a couple incidents that I've heard of, um, where parents have gone on a court and gotten a referee's face, um, where law enforcement had to be called and things like that. People get out of control. Now, I get what folks are saying that yeah, I think people are thinking too extreme in these cases. Like they're not going to be able to say anything and they're going to get thrown out. I don't. That's not the case. I don't think that's the intent of how this is written. I think the intent is for issues like that.
Yeah.
And if you become disruptive enough to stop the game, I think at a football game that's a little harder to do,
Hmm.
versus a volleyball game or a basketball game, things that are indoors. I
Yeah.
think that's mainly what I think this could be. I mean, but when I was at Odom Taft a couple years ago, there was a parent in the stands yelling at the referee, and they went out and tried to find him. They stopped the game to go find this parent.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what they were saying, but the guy was hiding and and left, and then came back in with a different shirt. Uh, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Before we go on
So
this, yes, James, I will be at the GP in Cal game. Wouldn't miss that one for sure. But no, yeah, they will stop games to kick you out,
yeah,
and they will come find you. We've talked about that many years in the show. I've been a victim to that. Now it's a law. So this was obviously way before the show when I was much younger. But yeah, never forget. And they will assist you to your car with the law.
Oh yeah, yeah, and nobody's going to be happy with what comes down. You know, if there wasn't a change, people are going to be pissed and say something should change. Now that there's change, people are going to be like, "There's that was too much change," right? So it is what
Yeah.
it is, right? And there have been some crazy things come down the pike lately, as far as not just that, but different laws that have come down that are kind of like wow, eye openers.
Well,
Anyways,
did you see the also the one that's getting some run right now down there in the valley? They're bringing on they got CPS involved in the law enforcement with the coach that had the kids doing bear
oh,
crawls.
the bear crawls, I saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, it was on Marketplace. They were trying to sell them, right? That was the intent of the
Yeah.
post, right? It was like free coach,
Sell this coach. Yeah, free
whatever.
coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I I think
They, they they can't do anything anymore.
no, they can't, you know, and it's man, it's a lot of things, right? It's society as a whole, I think. I think as a culture we've become soft
Yeah.
and you know, and it's affecting everything. It's not just coaching, it's teachers in the classroom, it's people at work, you know, it's not just sports that this is affecting. It's everything, and it kind of makes you take a step back and be like, wow, where are we? Is like it's like, is this real? Are we in a simulation at this
Yeah.
point? You know?
What I see it firsthand all the time in youth sports at a young age, right? 6, 7, 8 the last couple of years, and I've seen parents. Parents are worse than the kids. You
Oh,
know,
100%.
ultimately, parents ruin a really good thing for kids more than a kid's going to ruin a good thing for themselves. And the sad part is that a lot of times the kids have no idea what's going on,
Yeah.
and it's usually over probably some of the stupidest things you could think of in the world. And I've seen it, I've heard it. Uh, I think too. One thing I think probably coaches can probably appreciate the new law coming down because um, put yourself in their place, right? You're trying to have a good rapport with officials and another team's coaching staff that you have respect for, and then you have the clowns behind you that they're upset because someone held Johnny and didn't get called for it, right? Or and immediately rush to the kid's defense instead of letting them work through it on their own, which is I think with a lot of things with this new generation and why we have these different types of issues you're talking about. But they, I think parents as a whole should step back a little bit sometimes and let their kid work through a little adversity every now and then. Because if not, they're going to grow up into an adult who is going to get hit with some reality and not know how to handle it right. So, and it goes to me firsthand with sports. I think sports is one of the greatest things that you can do as a child, as a kid or a girl, because it teaches you how to do teamwork, teaches you how to have some leadership, teaches you accountability, and teaches you how to work for things, right? And then when you take you take all those things away and you just have your kid in sports because it's the trendy thing to do, and you're spoon feeding it to them, and then you're upset because they're not performing or producing, and you're spending all this money, and then it carries over into acting like a clown at a game. It's uncalled for. And I think as the coaches probably across the board on this can, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll kind of tone some people's reactions down a little bit, and so we'll see how it goes. I highly doubt we see anyone locally get kicked out of a game on this rule. I'm sure you will across the state at some point, but it's it's needed. I think, especially with how some of the adults react, overreaction to some of the stuff. At the end of the day, it's a game, right?
Yeah.
It's a game. Life goes on the next day. It's a game. And I hate losing. I'll be the first to admit it. I hate losing. I'm not a bad loser. I'll go shake your hand and tell you good job, but I utterly hate it. There's nothing more that I hate than losing at something. And but it's life.
Did you I just saw something pop up here. Did you see UTRGV's
Oh, their
lockout?
stuff is dope. And honestly, I'll give Bloodsport some credit on this one. You know, come on, Coastal Bend, where are we at with that? We've let A&M Kingsville just kind of go to ruin. No one goes to games. No one backs it. We've had multiple opportunities to make that into a D1 program, and I get the logistics of them and A&M Corpus, but we could have done something, I think, by now to have gotten that kind of pool that the RGV did. But I think the biggest thing is they have the support from the fan base, the people down there.
Dude, it's huge. They're
Huge. I love it.
the student season tickets sold out in like 10 minutes or something like that.
Mhm.
It Hang on, I'm gonna
Which is
pull this
crazy to
up.
see how fast that's coming along. Because it feels like yesterday we were just talking about them actually getting a program approved, and now here we are. We're 3 days away from kicking off down there finally.
Yeah, hang on.
The bogus complex. It's bogus, right?
No, it's the Vacker.
Vacker. There you go.
Yeah, bogus is Harlingen's stadium.
There's some familiar names, by the way, on that roster. Eddie Lee Marburger starting at QB.
Yeah, I saw that. And by the way of UTSA, right here it is. Hang on. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right up there with, the UTs, the A&Ms, the Oklahomas, Jackson Bays. There you go.
Jackson Bays.
Yep. Some Miller boys down there. I think we got three or four from Miller on that team. I would agree with that, Sergio. I'm pretty sure there will be alcohol sold too. I think that's got passed a couple years ago.
Wild.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, in what,
Even
4 years of existence, maybe?
Yeah. The even crazier part is the fact that we have some high schools coming up with mini versions of that all over the state, or have had many versions of that for a while now. Right? That just shows you how big Texas football is, high school
Yeah.
football is.
Yep. Hang on, there's a bunch of stuff on here. Hang on, I gotta catch up, dude. Wow, didn't recognize Justin.
Hey, did you tell him you had an opportunity to buy a Texas locker?
No, no. So Justin sent me. So those are actually, if you looked at what Texas has now, the lockers that UTRGV has are kind of like first generation, right? Because that's what UT had. Some guy in San Antonio on Marketplace was selling one of the old UT lockers that looks just like these ones at UTRGV for I think 14 grand, 1400,
That's how much you wanted for
It
it?
was 1400.
Oh, I was like
Yeah,
1,400.
1400.
He
And
tried.
I wasn't gonna. I have no place to put it, dude. Like if I were to put it somewhere, it'd be in my garage. That's too hot. But so I try to get Tim to buy it, and it's because Tim has plenty of room. I'm like, dude, you can use it as motivation for Tegan. You set that
Yeah.
in his room. You're like, this could be yours. You could work towards this. Don't let him sit in it. Until
Yeah.
he's earned it. And he got so as far as to message the guy, and then he started working inside, so I couldn't peer pressure him anymore.
You should have told me. I
So
would have done it for you.
yeah, that's my fault. But yeah, so that would have been pretty cool to have. That whoever
Yeah.
got that, that's a nice centerpiece to your football room or your office or whatever. That's
How do
actually
you
very
get that though? Like, how did that guy come across that?
he probably did the demo or probably was on a crew that did the renovation of the locker room.
Something, right?
Y'all leaving me and Purcell gonna have to take over. So that's another thing that Justin didn't hit on, right? So there's so many shows now,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like where this is our little niche that let's not get it mixed up. We started this here in the area. We were the first ones that did a show. We did the podcast version, right? Audio only.
I think
And
people forget
then
podcasts were really early 2000s, and then they kind of tapered off. And
yeah.
then you hit me up about doing a podcast, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And we did it. It was only back then when you only could get it on iTunes was kind of, and then they were kind of evolving. Spotify got on board, and
Yeah.
and the next thing you know, you got Joe Rogan's, all these people having these shows, and it's just now locally you have tons of content and shows being pushed out. And I kind of felt uh, at a certain point, I'm like, it's time to do something a little different, right?
Yeah.
Something that's not being done over and over and over. Get our own niche again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we did
we
that,
did
right?
that,
Every
right?
year we did something new with the show. Every
Yeah,
year we got something new. We tried the multi-camera was the new one that we did last year.
yep.
Um, and then the dealership thing, going on location, trying to take the show on the road. Everything we've done, I'm not going to say from the we were the high school football podcast here,
We were what? You cut it.
and we were the first to have a podcast
Oh
here in
yeah,
the coastal bend.
absolutely. We were very close to.
Um,
Blake was looking at utility vans to buy last year
yeah.
for the show.
Do we fart on our show like I do on mine though?
Negative.
No, we don't. No.
I will say the McDonald's adult
Happy Meal.
Happy Meal caught me off guard and was very funny.
I thought there was going to be more, and it just
I thought it
ended.
was a show announcement or something. Someone sent him a helmet, and I was like, okay, cool. And I'm watching it, and then they ask him what he wants. He says no. It says, I'll take the adult Happy Meal.
What's
I
in
just
the
thought that
adult happy? What's in the adult Happy Meal? What was
I
in
don't
it?
know, but it cost him $20, and he wasn't very pleased with it. I do know that.
It was $20. It wasn't funny when I saw the price. $20.
I think you
Hey.
get like some type of like metal commemorative box or something. I don't know.
Oh wow.
It's
You
right
know.
up there. To me, that there's two funny things I'll give him credit for. That was one of them, and I still think the year
The frozen hot dogs.
well that yeah that's hilarious too. But the year Owls beat Cal Allen and the Saturday morning Good Morning Cal Allen fans, I still think that's pretty funny. I haven't seen it in a while, and I guarantee I'd laugh if it popped up on my reels.
Which one was
You
that?
remember that? Alice upset Cal Allen, and then the very next day
Oh.
he was driving. Good morning, Cal Allen fans. Couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was pretty funny. We both can share a common enemy on that one.
Yeah, it comes with regular stuff, but some a badass shake. So a shake, $20 shake.
Surprised that it worked. The shake machine.
Yeah. What else has popped up recently that we were going to talk about? Oh, did you watch the Cowboys documentary yet?
So I just finished episode 3 last night. Very into it. It's
Okay.
great. It's
So
really good.
so
They just
I
fired Jimmy Johnson's ass.
I kind
So
of know if you've read the Jeff Pearlman book,
boys will be boys.
Boys Will Be Boys.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, that's essentially it. It's like they use that as source material. Um, the last three, the last three, because there's 8 episodes in this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a Cowboys fan, John, but it's an interesting piece. You know, Jerry is a very
I understand him now.
he's a showman.
For
He's
sure.
a showman, and he was definitely one of those guys. Fake it till you make it, and
Oh, dude.
and he made it.
I
But
didn't know that part of Jerry. I read the Boys Will Be Boys, and by the way, I'm not a Cowboys fan. Absolutely not a Cowboys fan. But I didn't realize just the amount of backlash he got, and then I didn't realize how he is. And honestly, it makes the last like 10 years of me following the contracts with the NFL make sense on why every year we have a Cowboy seems like controversy. He's recreating the Emmett controversy and bringing in money and
dude, it's
views
clicks. I
and
mean,
yeah,
it's clicks, right? And the clicks generate more publicity for them. It's why it's no wonder they're the number one selling franchise.
he got
Uh,
it. He got it. Like
well,
he was cutting edge.
the eye opener was how he made the other owners rich.
Yep.
That the NFL owners were not making money, you know, until he went rogue and signed that deal with Pepsi and signed that deal with Nike, and signed that deal with American Express. And have you got that far yet? Have they
No,
talked
no, no.
about?
I'm starting episode
Okay,
4.
okay. So essentially, he made the owners a lot of money, and they wanted to get rid of him because of these moves he was making. And now, look, hindsight, right? Well, wow, why didn't we do this sooner? Kind of thing. You'll see it. It'll just be like, I can't. And that's what really caught my eye. And then somebody here, Shane. Yeah, I was surprised how much the players respected Barry as well.
What
You
was your
know,
take on Jimmy Johnson?
as far as what?
just his I guess way of coaching and how he brought them from the depths of despair and
You know,
his
I
role in
I
that.
don't know. He coached at a different time in the NFL. Um, I don't know how he'd be able to make that team successful without A, Herschel Walker, and B, with a salary cap.
Yeah,
Because when he went to Miami, he didn't do very flashy. There was a salary cap in place. He had an older quarterback, but he didn't have the plethora of draft picks to build a roster.
which is a great move, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then if you looked at the if you've read and they explain it in the book, and I don't remember if they do it in the episode very well, but all the players they got, that guy from the Vikings, man, if every player they got, if they released that player, they got draft
Pick
picks that were associated with that guy. So they
was
just
cutting
had
edge because they handed them that. They handed them that, not thinking they would cut those guys. That would not
yeah.
happen nowadays in NFL.
Oh no,
No way.
no.
No way. There's absolutely no chance that happens. That was the equivalent to what was the wasn't there another famous trade like that basically rebooted a franchise and no one thought they would trade him. Maybe that is it. Maybe that's the only one there was. But
Yeah, I
I
think so
think
because
there was a similar trade out there.
I don't think anybody was dumb enough. I have seen the SEC document. Did you watch the SEC doc yet?
I started watching it, but they were glazing LSU too much, so I kind of got disinterested for a little bit there, and then
They jump from team to team, right? They're like obviously the teams that agreed because there's no Alabama in there, there's no
yeah.
Texas in there, there's no
See, I
who
didn't know that
else?
part. I thought it was the
There's
whole SEC.
no there's no Georgia. Now they cover them a little bit, like when one of their focus teams are playing those guys, but
Mhm.
that's it. They don't go. They're not on campus with these guys. They're not interviewing the head coaches. Like Sark doesn't have a piece in it. Um, uh, Kirby doesn't have a piece in it. Um,
I would like for them to do more of a team based follow for the year type of show. Almost like, well, I guess it's kind of similar to the QB1 stuff, but I guess the SEC one's kind of similar to that. But if they do it again this year, I think it'll probably be the next season will probably be a little more cutting edge. I wouldn't mind one on the Big Ten either.
yeah.
I'd like to them that whole week leading up to Ohio State and Michigan. I'd like them to follow that, and then obviously Penn State.
Speaking of, did you see they banned the Prez from Ohio State from the shoe?
They just made him more money.
Yeah.
They made him more money. That's so much merchandise they could sell. It's insane.
It was recorded a year before the.
Nah, because it was LSU
No, it
and
wasn't
USC.
because Diego Pavia was in that, and that was last year, and they played where Vanderbilt almost beat Texas, so it wasn't recorded a year before. It was almost real time.
They did beat Bama.
Yeah, they did beat Bama because that's in there. So yeah, it was not a year before time. Yo, right? It was actually last year, and the fact that they got it out so fast, that's kind of impressive.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, have you seen what is that Netflix house in Dallas they're opening up? Have you
Is
seen
that
that?
is that real?
I
Oh,
think so.
that reminded me. So if you haven't got to it yet, but you've read Boys Will Be Boys, they published or they showed pictures and gave an address of the Dallas Cowboys White House.
Really?
Yes. I would be so pissed if I owned that house, if I lived in that house right now,
Yeah.
because you're going to have all these Yahoos driving to your house now.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, I would assume they got permission, but
Where
man,
did
that's,
they? That was out where? Whereabouts was it?
it was behind Valley Ranch
There we
where
go.
they used to train at. It was like a couple streets behind it.
Yep. John, I got GP. Never in doubt.
Dude, so again, I'm so unplugged on what's happening right now, but from what I can tell, I still talk to Quentin here and there, and he mentioned it a while back. It's the year of the running back here in the Coastal Bend, you know, and there's not really any big name quarterbacks around right now. You've got,
A lot of newcomers.
yeah, you got the kid from Alice that went to Flower Bluff,
Yep.
who's gonna be slinging the ball around there, Lucian.
Yes.
And then you've got the quarterback from London, um,
Miller.
He don't have a returning. Andrew
No,
Trevor's gone.
I was replying to John.
Oh, okay. Um, but I mean, it's a bunch of. It's almost like that year when Centerfield and Body retired or graduated the year
Yeah.
after.
Well, you think about last year, we had God five, 4 or 5 starting QBs that have had 3 4 year runs. You had Keelan out in Refugio.
Yep,
You had Trevor Long. You had
Pelucio.
Dooms. You had Pelucio, and then you had the year before they graduated, Aiden Jacobson. But the year prior, he was part of that. Which, by the way, he's number 2 on the depth chart at
Is
UTRGV.
he?
Number 2 on the depth chart behind Eddie Lee Marburger, which is crazy. I didn't realize he transferred over there. So yeah, the flashy position this year is pretty wide open for the Coastal Bend. Oh, Hanson, you had Hanson last year
Yeah.
at Sinton. It's pretty wide open for the Coastal Bend. And yeah, it is a little more heavy on the running backs. I know that's Portland's big thing is they're going to rely heavy on a run game. I do know that. I don't know a whole lot about Cal Allen to be completely honest with you because, like I said, we haven't tapped in too much.
Who's their
Uh,
quarterback?
at Cal
Any
Allen,
any Cal Allen folks want to chime in? Who the quarterback's going to be? Who the starter is this year?
yeah, that'd be Quentin will know. Um, Cody Adame from Portland and the kid from Sinton's coming back. I think Miller's got a freshman quarterback this year that I think is going to be one of the guys that's on the list that Quentin's talking about. So I think this is the year that you see those dudes blossom. And next year will be one of your, okay, we got the 5 quarterbacks of the Coastal Bend and whatnot. Klosterman was a receiver last year.
Was he? See, I don't even remember that name. Doesn't
He
even
was
ring a
a, he
bell.
was a good receiver for them last year, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty positive because he was one of the ones keeping them alive in that Sinton game early on.
Was he?
I believe so.
No, I don't. Man, I don't
Fact
remember.
check me on that, Q.
Yeah, there's Shane chimed in Klosterman. So was he a receiver last year? One of y'all?
I'm pretty sure. I could be tripping. See if I'm right.
What else has happened? You had that event with your dog. You had Lizard Gate this year.
Mm. Yeah, the guy that keeps popping up in the show. Here he comes right now. Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull
Yeah,
this
this
up real
guy.
quick.
This guy. Yeah, we thought he ate my kid's lizard the other day. Turns out he didn't. It might have been just a tell,
Oh, there
which
it is.
happens horrible for everyone involved.
My wife's taking pictures of me right now. I don't know what she's doing.
Go sit down. So she doesn't think we're giving up the show.
No, she. So yeah. So my wife and I were having a conversation earlier. She thinks this is all a bluff right now. Dude, I can't. I'm still. So I got a Mac now, and
Kinsey
I'm
says
trying
it
to.
is too. Kinsey says it's a bluff too. That's the first time she's really commented on this entire thing.
So this is. I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm trying to.
Did you show Becca all your merchandise? Because honestly, I thought you were having second thoughts when I got like 40 different T-shirts and 30 different hat styles and stickers the other day.
I did. I did. I showed her, and she said they were pretty cool. So
They were
that's
good.
one of the things we're thinking about doing is just selling merch.
Just
Dude,
selling.
I can't. This thing's killing me, dude. Hang on, let me end this thing. There we go. Okay, let's go. I don't have a seizure here. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So yeah, we're just messing around making designs and stuff, and they actually pretty. I don't have any saved on like on my computer, so I can't actually show any of the designs.
Very similar to what the show graphic was.
But I think they would sell.
Definitely. Stickers for sure.
I think my wife's phone's connected to my speaker behind me because there's some talk going on coming out of my Bluetooth speaker here. I don't know if you can hear it, but
No, I can't hear it.
let me turn it off. Hang on.
Are you still skating? I think the people want to know
Dude,
that.
I haven't had a chance because back to so my son's he joined the Air Force and
In
his
Rockport.
50 something days in basic training, I decided I'm going to work out every day while he's gone, right? Just to kind of do something to show some solidarity, some support for him while he's gone because the phone calls obviously are very intermittent letters. He's not a big letter writer, but
Yeah.
surprisingly we got a lot of letters surprisingly. So that's actually pretty cool. But I did not want to skate because I didn't want to get hurt. Um, so because I didn't want to miss a workout because I went skating, and that's something him and I would do together. So it kind of didn't feel right. But like I said, we're going up there this weekend. I'm taking my skateboard. There's a couple skate parks. There's a skate park on base. There's a skate park right there, not too
Really?
far from the base.
On
Yeah.
base.
So we'll figure something out. We'll get some skate time in. We're actually
I don't think I've ever been to Wichita Falls.
it's I was there for 6 weeks back in 1997, and looking at Google Street View and things like that, nothing's changed.
Really?
Yeah, they may have some more restaurants, but and it's the land that time forgot.
Seatown, Steve. Seatown.
Yeah, I think so too,
Parks.
dude. So the talk about Columbus is, and this is what you told me, and so I started digging on it. They're supposed to be stronger than they were last year.
Yeah, very. People
Um,
don't realize they had a lot of underclassmen, sophomores that played in that state game, and obviously I kept the Grove connection, and we had that. And I texted you that day. I was talking about to Grove about him, and I was a little surprised to hear that myself. But yeah, apparently they're loaded again this year, and Matt thinks they're going to be better this year than they were last, and he thinks not this year but next year is the team, the team. They got another Schobel at quarterback, so there's going to be some familiarity there. Uh, so I'm excited. I'm definitely going to follow them per usual. Love to go back to Jerry World and watch them play again. Hopefully, the next years we get that chance. I think this year might be a little harder. I think Franklin may get them. I don't know that, but Franklin may. They always have something up their sleeve. They may get them this year, but I don't know. They they're supposed to be really strong the next years, and I think Cuero is supposed to have a pretty good team this year. But Columbus has a lot of kids coming back that were contributors in that first game. They're just really missing the two Schobel boys.
dude,
That's really what they graduated.
Tidehaven's ranked
And
number
Rigdon.
two, right? They're preseason ranked number two in 3AD2 right now.
Tidehaven.
Tidehaven, Wall. Well,
Edna's,
I think
Edna's
Wall's
up
number
there.
one. Tidehaven's number two. Poth's number 10. There's a lot. Lexington's in the top 10. So there's a lot of Region 4 representation in the preseason state rankings right now.
Yeah, well, you have what? That's 3AD2, right? So this would be 3AD1,
Yeah,
correct? Right? And
yeah. So that would be Edna.
Edna's top five in that as well. Which, by the way, they got a new head coach this year, so
Yeah, yeah, dude. There's
that'd be interesting.
been all kinds of shenanigans going on. So we've got a bunch of new quarterbacks here. There's a lot of new head coaches here as well. You kind of mentioned it earlier. Dave got his first head coaching job there at Bishop.
Yep.
So you got that.
Which I
You've
want
got
to definitely go out to Bishop and watch, take a game in. I feel like we owe him that.
you got Andy Smith, who's back to the area at London.
That's exciting. I think that was a really overlooked hire. I am big Andy Smith fan. I've voiced it before that wouldn't mind him taking over the Portland duties if and when Coach Davis decides to retire. A lot of guys that I've talked to, like in the coaching world, they speak highly of Andy. Say he's a very gifted offensive mind, and he played college ball before, so I think he knows how to run a pretty good program. And what he did up at Alpine was a pretty quick. It wasn't like a massive turnaround, but compared to what they were and where he left them, I think that kind of shows you the capability he has. And I think he's got a lot of resources at London. So, and the big thing over there in London, obviously, is they're a baseball school that plays football.
Yeah,
And we talked
it's
about that last year.
or basketball too, right?
Yeah, basketball too. It's a weird vibe because it's
That the watch is chiming in, dude.
you got shot in Edna. He
You
did.
got
And we
shot
also
in
had
Edna,
pizza in
dude.
Edna. And we had
Huh?
pizza on the show's dime.
Oh yeah, on the show. That one of the only purchases we made with the show's money
The
was
show's
pizza.
money.
You should feel special, Mark.
He also got us almost kicked out by the police officers. We've never had cops come up to us at games before, and we bring Mark, and here we go, dude. It was the mullet.
Yeah, there it is, dude.
Got shot in Edna.
Hey, first things first, guys. Y'all backed up Peasy. Peasy came in here. Peasy came in here and said they was a soft bunch. We proved it. We proved it. that we were the tougher football team today. It's all about us.
You be quiet this week, though, PG, please.
It's all about us in this locker room. I got that. They shot me in Denver. You will not.
Shot me in Denver. They shot me in Edna.
It's a long story. We got a guy from work, man. You guys
We
remember
both
that
did.
Joey Porter speech there that he gave at the Pittsburgh pregame little speech they had, or postgame? Crazy that y'all's last show and y'all's best produced show. Crazy that y'all's last show is y'all's best. I don't know what that means, yo. Like,
I think it's all the cool background stuff you got going on this year.
I have a lot going on back here, dude. So that's my new little thing right now, right? That's taking up my time, is building my little studio space here. I'm gonna do. So my wife was like, I'm like looking here because I
The
have
show's not going nowhere. Look,
I have an open air office, right? So it's a flow through from my dining area and from my living room, right? There's two entrances here, and there's no doors, right? It's because this room, it used to be outside, right? This is an add-on to the house that I don't know who did it, but it was done before. So if you look this way, it goes out into the backyard. Um, so I'm kind of thinking of ways. I was like, well, I can get black curtains in here just to get it darker in here to make the lights look better. So I'm just kind of messing around in here. I'm gonna do something, dude. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. And my wife looks at me like I'm an idiot. She's like, "What do you mean you're gonna do?" I was like, I could make videos. I don't know. I'm gonna do something."
well, if you take the hat off, you look like Mini Joe Rogan. I told you that the other day. Show the people Mini Joe Rogan, dude. Take the hat
Well,
off.
you
Show
know
them
what,
Mini
dude?
Joe Rogan.
So the light, actually, because I'm messing with lighting in here now. Like, I've got lights, dude. Like, dude, like, it doesn't make my head shine.
Mini Joe
Like,
Rogan.
when I was in the interns room, like, I had a big glare on my head and everything. But look, dude, it's like I'm wearing makeup, dude. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I can change my lights back. I can change the color of my lights back here with the touch of my phone.
I dig
You know,
the skateboard look.
Huh?
I dig the skateboards.
See, I just turned the light off. Let me see. Let's turn that yellow. See, look at that. There's a whole rainbow of colors there. Look at that. Woo.
This is the most Jacob thing in the entire world since we started this. We're canceling the show, and he's buying equipment and lighting for a room that doesn't have a show anymore. Am I right?
I'm gonna do something, dude. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Sad I didn't get to come on the show and reenact Mike Winter. Dude, call in. Call me right now. Call me. So we have this dude at work, right? This guy Mark, the guy that almost got us kicked out of Edna because he got shot in Edna.
And he got shot in Edna.
He can do so many impersonations, right? And he does Booby Miles when he's crying in Friday Night. Oh, dude, I got on a Friday Night Lights deep dive because of this, right? So I went down Friday Night Lights.
I agree,
And-
John. Rather back as well. I think that's crazy.
I started watching What Carter Lost again, right? Have you guys seen that 30 for 30 documentary? I know Justin's seen it because we've talked about it before. But it got me thinking, right? How many of those players do you think actually lived in the Carter district?
I don't know.
Because
Not a lot.
because you've got Sock over here, you've got Duncanville. It's kind of the same little triangle that we're talking about now with these teams that are running 6A football right now. Like, even with some of these super teams that we've had, you have not seen a team with that much talent come from the same town.
Dude, there was many Miami, bro. They had D1 starters as backups.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. So I just got to thinking. I was like, how many of those kids were actually, or kids at the time? They're not kids anymore. But how many of them do you think were actual residents there, or did they transfer in?
I don't know, and I don't know, but it brings up a good topic. We talked about the group last year I got involved with on Facebook, and I think you even got into it too after you saw the stuff going on. But the DFW football page on Facebook is just pure comedy and great insight, and it never ceases to surprise you on what's going on. And right now where it's Duncanville and North Crowley talking shit again, and then the first thing they're bringing up transfers left and right. They had a kid from California move into North Crowley this year.
Yeah, and they deemed him ineligible, right? The quarterback.
Yeah, he got deemed ineligible, and People saying Duncanville's not going to be the same anymore because they lost. I think if it's right, they lost every single coach outside of the head coach. They all went to actually where he started off at. God, um, it's going to come to me. It's a big name, but they've been in the dumps for years, and they're talking about them on the uprise because of all the Duncanville coaches that have went over there. God, what is that team? Yeah, I'll get it later. But it's just interesting because they live so close together. You have I think what made Sock good was you had kids that weren't making it at Duncanville were rolling over to Sock, and then I think another thing that people don't really realize is with those schools, and we have one here in itself. I don't know if you watched Coach Evans the other day on that show that he popped up on, but he talked about the changing point at Miller, and he said he had a what was it? A Paul Crew longest yard moment. He took his basketball shoes to work one day and went into the the basketball gym, and basically he's like, I walk in and there's 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", 6', 6'3". He's like, these dudes aren't in football, and he basically told him, he's like, you'll play me 5-on-5, your best five, and I'll take the other five, and whoever wins, I win. Y'all come play football. I lose. You don't play football, and he basically told his group of guys, he's like, you're not playing, or you're not taking shots. I'm taking shots. And he's like, back then, I could hoop still. And needless to say, they won. If the story's correct, I'm gonna bust him out on that later. And that's kind of the changing point. He said that next Monday or the next day, he had all those kids, 20-something kids, come to the football to come lift. They weren't lifting in the offseason. They were playing basketball and doing their own thing. But he got them to buy into the program, right? And I think that's something that Coach Todd did at SOC. They bought into the program. I think that's what they've done over at Duncanville, what they've done at DeSoto. They've bought into the program. And then if you go back and really think about the Carter situation, I think that might have been a similar thing back then. It was a way to stay out of trouble and be a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think once you get teams, especially inner city ISDs like that, when you finally can get the actual talent to get on the field and get out of trouble, you can have something that's worth hanging on to. And I think we've seen it with SOC, we've seen it with DeSoto and Duncanville, you see it with Galena Park and Houston. These are not areas that are they deal with different stuff than the GPs, the Cal Allens, the Alice's, the Flower Buffs of the world. And we've seen that at Miller, and I think that's where you get the buy-in. Then you have these teams pop up, and yeah, they might transfer and move, but I think I would do the same thing too if I was in their shoes. If you have a chance to go be part of something, and a chance to go play at the next level at one of these schools, why would you not take that opportunity?
Yeah. So Shane chimed in here. Back in the day when Dallas Carter was the team in the DFW, the Dallas Carter was not really the team back there. They always underachieved until that year. They were always, hey, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. They're going to be good. And they would lose in the first round or second round of the playoffs. That season, they actually tied a team in the regular season. But yeah, Plano and Plano East were the two biggest schools that were coming out of the DFW area at that time.
Which, speaking of South Lake Carroll and 3A, did y'all watch the Cuero and South Lake Carroll highlights that Dave Campbell just threw out the other day?
No.
Very, very good. Coach Finley's son was the quarterback for Cuero at the time.
That was the late 80s, early 90s.
He's 89, maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah, he went to Mickey Finley. His son went to Nebraska. He played DB at Nebraska.
Yep. But no, I think going back to the DFW thing, it is interesting. And yeah, Carter, I don't know if you'll ever see a team as stacked as that Carter team was.
And that's hard to believe that all came out of one school district, one neighborhood, essentially.
Ask Alito.
That's the part that, well, not even the Alito kid. They're not all signing D1 scholarships, no. Right? I mean, that's what I'm getting at, right? It's not the fact that all these kids are getting recruited. It's that many went to Division I football.
Yeah.
And started. And some even went, I think, 8 went to the NFL?
Yeah,
I think it was
somewhere in that
8. I think
somewhere in
eight,
that range.
eight. Either whether they had a cup of coffee in the NFL or they were like Jesse Armstead and played years. I think Clifton Abram played for 5, 6 years in the NFL, probably
Hmm.
after he left Florida State. But yeah, it's just that's I just got me thinking. I was like, there's no way all these guys were from. Oh, John, you checked in late, dude. I mean, I can't believe you have to ask that question.
Yeah, come on, John.
Yeah, look at everybody's chiming in now about Clint. Yeah,
Lamarck was stacked for sure.
yeah. Lamarck teams Callan played.
ACC was
CJ's from
stacked back
CJ.
then.
Isn't CJ from Lamarck?
He was a running back at Lamarck.
Yeah, so we
He
worked with a
was
guy who was on
he
those
was
Lamarck
around. He
teams.
played against Cal Allen, I think, or he might have
Yeah,
been the 02 class. He might have been like right there at the very tail end of that run where they kept playing in the Astrodome, I think.
hey, that guy that signed that letter from the hot tub was a parade All American. He was
Tennessee, right?
if he wasn't robbing gas stations and restaurants, he would have been at Tennessee. He may have been another one that would have gone to the NFL. Derek Evans was
Yep.
he was that good. Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? You had 2 parade All Americans because that was before, right? You don't see parade All Americans anymore. Now they're something else now.
Under
Because
Armour or
yeah,
Under Armour All Americans.
yeah, but if you were a parade All American, that was you made it. That was you, right? Um,
Yep.
but yeah, so they had 2 parade All Americans on that team: Jesse Armstead and Derek Evans. Yeah, and that was something though, right? Because I remember back in the day when that made the news back then when I was in school that they were making that, and you're like, what? That's wild. I
Yep.
don't think you've seen something like that since.
Yep. No, you probably won't. Not to that extent for
So
sure.
so some of the other news that's coming out of the DFW area, Salina. This is their last year as a single ISD school.
Yep. Which
So
is a lot of
what?
pushback on that.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Well, because if you talk to Brian, I don't know if Brian's chimed in right now. Brian Williford, he lives in Salina, but his son went to Prosper because they live in the Prosper ISD lines. So when this bond came up last year, I'm like, dude, what's with this bond? He's like, dude, I didn't even know about it. So he checked with his wife because he said his wife's into all that stuff, and essentially there was no room at Salina. So these kids were transferring to Prosper and these other schools, and they said, we're not taking any more of your kids. So they essentially got painted into a corner and had to build another school.
Yeah. And the other ones would go to Gunter.
And the other, yeah, would go to Gunter because that's
So
what is it
this school
before
is
or
going to
after?
it's after it's right up the road from Salina, but this school is going to be smack dab in the middle of Gunter and Salina.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be another powerhouse too. And I don't
Well,
know what the name of it is.
their stadium's not in Salina. It's like on
Yeah, I
the
know.
outskirts, in between Gunter and Salina. That new facility. So now they got to rebrand. I don't think they're going to build a new football stadium, right? So they got to rebrand the whole thing.
I would assume which sucks. I don't like it because Salina is one of those old school names. They're like South Lake, just not as big yet, but they were doing the same stuff down in 2A and 3A at one point, and I think was it G.A. Moore was the guy back then. I remember seeing them in Dave Campbell magazines back in the day. They're all laid out, all orange uniforms with the trophies and stuff. And to me, it's like you're losing another one of those small town schools that had a lot of history on it
Yeah.
because you're going to have a school come split that, and then you got to share a stadium.
Well, you're
It's
seeing
never
it.
going to be the same.
You're seeing it at Liberty Hill,
Yes.
and it's affecting their program already.
Yeah, for sure. And Liberty Hill's another one of those names that pops in there when you talk about old school teams like that.
Yep.
And I hate to see it because that's one of the things that I think makes high school football so great is it's such a difference, right? When you watch the 6A games at state or in the playoffs, it's a different vibe than when you go watch the 4A and down.
It's a college. It's essentially a college team,
Yep.
right? When you're looking, it's the programs run a different way. They've got millions and millions. I'm not gonna say millions, but they've got hundreds, thousands of kids there.
Yes.
Yeah, Judson. The problem with Judson is they built too many schools.
They had to, right? I mean,
They had to, but and it's one of the things that I had always said. So there's a mall up the road on 1604 called the Rolling Oaks Mall. That mall is empty now, right? It's like
Really?
there's a couple of buildings. There may be an Amazon like warehouse kind of thing there now, right? But could you imagine if Judson ISD said, you know what, we're going to buy this and make a mega campus, and we're going to be Allen High School south of I-10.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they could have done that, and they probably still could have been a power and done with it. But that's the problem with San Antonio right now is that's what you're seeing is that there's too many schools being built,
Hmm.
and you're having these talent pools kind of go all over the place now versus how they were just wanting to go to Judson. You know,
Yeah.
you had Gerard Douglas who got caught. Judson ISD hired his mom so he could go to school there and play running back there, and he had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, they were blatantly recruiting that way.
And it's going into the Braunfels area too because we have Piper, which
Yeah.
is starting to get out there towards New Braunfels, and
Well, it's
then what's the
essentially
other?
Johnson City, right? Isn't it in Johnson City almost?
Yeah, so you're splitting up some Smithson Valley as well. But what's the other one other than Piper? There's another San Antonio school that popped up the last couple of years. That's Davenport.
Davenport,
Davenport's the New
which is
Braunfels.
in well, that's Canyon Lake. Yeah, Canyon Lake, New Braunfels. Yeah.
Yep. Which New Braunfels Unicorns have always had good programs back in the day, and then Canyon has
Tom
had
Ward.
good ones. Yeah, Tom Ward. I'm still man. Almost killed Caleb.
Yeah.
He
All
says
right.
hello.
I think we've gone on quite a bit. What time is it? 8:50. We're going on an hour and a half. Just it's like our old shows, going
Yep.
long and stuff like that. I know you got to work tomorrow. I am not working tomorrow.
Oh,
Finally.
you're half day.
No, I'm not. I am not working tomorrow, dude. I'm mentally exhausted, and you know what? I've worked enough
I feel you,
in the
man.
past month. I got a bunch of stuff I got to take care of tomorrow before we head out on the road. So we're gonna go head up and, like I said, see the Airman Basic tomorrow. We're gonna split that trip. We're gonna stop about halfway tomorrow and then head up there Wednesday. I think they got a down day on Friday, so they got a 4-day weekend. So
That's good.
it should be a good time. But guys, I want to say thank you guys for the support the last 7 years, 7 years and one day, right? We'll call this one day.
One day.
Um, we don't know what's going to happen next. Right now, definitely we do not have time for the show. I got my Dave Campbell's magazine but man, I got it back in July. I still haven't opened it yet.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I maybe flipped. I'm exaggerating. I may have flipped through it a little bit just to see some pictures, if anybody made it in and stuff like that. But I have not really dug into anything. I just, like Justin said, I don't have the time to look into anything, and if we're not going to be able to give you guys an informed program, it's like, then why do it, right?
yeah.
We're shortchanging ourselves and we're shortchanging you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't. If you're not 100% in, it's hard to do, and to the timing, the aspect of that really is what ultimately put the show on hiatus. I think for me and you, but definitely going to stay connected to it, not going away completely when it comes to being attached to high school football. But you'll definitely probably catch us out there creeping around some game at some point when we get some downtime. I'd like to find a way to continue to have like kind of a grasp on the region, even across the state, I guess, as a whole. But that's something we got to figure out on how to do, and it's something new, something that's more cutting edge than what's already being done. Would be a good way to pop back up with it, I think, at some point, for sure. But yeah, the time for this year is can't make it happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, I'd say the next couple of years, just because the ops tempo at work right now.
Oh yeah, we got lots of projects coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm building a mini IMG baseball academy, so that takes. That's why I always joke and tell people. I say I'm trying to build the next IMG. Jokingly, you don't realize how much time goes to that.
Yeah. Well, guys, again, thanks a lot for the last 7 years. We appreciate it. Just the page is still going to be active. I'm still going to share stuff and things like that, and comments and banter and stuff like that in the comments and stuff like that. So don't unfollow the page. The stuff we'll still be putting stuff out. And who knows, if something's big enough that pops up, if somebody goes to state from the region, maybe we'll
Yeah.
pop up and do a show or something, or go on the road or do something. But like Justin said, man, we took pride in doing something new every year and keeping stuff fresh. right? And right now, other than time, I don't know what we could have added to the show this year if we were doing it to keep it relevant, to keep something new coming, right? Other than pony rides or something. I don't know.
New
But
merch.
new merch, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm all out of ideas. I'm usually I come up with all these ideas a lot. You know, I bounce them off Justin, and he's pretty okay with it most of the time. Um, but it's just it's tough. It's tough coming up with new things, and you've got to stand out, especially like you said earlier. There's a lot of shows coming up now. Um, I tell you what needs to happen, and I hate to say this, is Sergio needs to be more consistent on putting shows out. Is what needs to happen
Yeah,
because, like it or not, and he's got some valid points with things. Now he may go over a little over the edge with some of his points, or get stuck on a hill he doesn't need to fight on at times, but a lot of times he's got some pretty good points, and we laugh and we talk about it and it brings up talking points. He just needs to be more consistent in putting stuff out, whether it's ordering Happy Meals or doing something. Yeah, you
I'll believe
said
it when
that
I see
last
it.
year.
Yeah,
He
I'll
said
believe it
that
when I
last
see it.
year, and he said that the year before, and the year before that. Um,
I just
this
want to
is
see him get escorted off the field. That's what I
the
want to see.
the coyote costume needs to come back
Yep,
one time. You need to wear that thing out to a game this year, and see how long it takes before. That's what you need to do. Is you need to get a lackey or somebody to follow you around with the camera when you take this coyote costume in, and see how long it takes you to get kicked out of the stadium. That's gonna go viral.
for sure.
Okay. Again, guys, thanks again for tuning in the last 7 years. We appreciate the support. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Um, man, until who knows? Until next
I'm
time.
gonna decide to pop back up.
Yeah. So like again, keep following the page. We'll share shit, and yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Um, I didn't get contacted by Alice for a pass again this year, and I'm not gonna reach out myself. Vance
Wow.
got involved last
The
year.
saga continues. I can't put your heart and soul into them.
This right here, that right there is just that's gold, dude. Just keep going with that. After you got the bond pass for the stadium, you're still not gonna get a pass.
He should show up to the game an hour before with a sign that says "Still waiting on my pass" at the entry of the at the entry.
All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, I can't find the outro. That was the wrong. That was the wrong one.